So I wanted all of these amazing agents and prosecutors up here on stage because they have made the largest fentanyl bust in our nation's history. And we're very proud to announce today a historic Sinaloa cartel arrest, and it marks the most significant victory in our nation's fight against fentanyl and drug trafficking to date. This multi-agency operation led by DEA with our local, state, tribal, and federal partners targeted one of the largest and most dangerous drug trafficking and foreign terrorist organizations in our country. The DEA seized 11.5 kilos of fentanyl, including an astounding approximately 3 million fentanyl pills, the largest seizure in our nation's history. These are the pills in the bags right there. The main bottom right, the head of this organization, Sinaloa organization, here in the country illegally, 6 of these guys and women here in the country illegally. His name is Alberto Salazar Amaya. He is the leader, and he was living in Salem, Oregon. With him, they got millions of dollars, cash, cars, but the drugs were in Albuquerque, Phoenix, and Utah. That's how insulated these drug dealer cartel leaders make themselves. This was an incredible operation, and that's why I wanted all of you here behind me. It took months and months of work, investigation, leading up to smaller buys, smaller cases, to get this massive amount of drugs and guns off our streets. $5 million approximately in cash, 35 kilos of methamphetamine, 35 kilos of meth, 7.5 kilos of cocaine, 4.5 kilos of heroin, 49 rifles and pistols, all shown in the pictures. And then, of course, the 3 million pills. These pills were stamped as oxycodone. Let that sink in. 3 million pills going on our streets, 3 million pills, the streets of our country, laced with fentanyl, labeled as oxycodone. And they were in all different strengths of fentanyl within them. This operation was made possible by over 55,000 hours of law enforcement investigation. And this is a really dangerous job that these DEA agents face every day, but they are getting very dangerous drugs off of our streets each day. They are flooding our cities with a weapon of mass destruction, fentanyl. And when we catch you, like all of these individuals, if convicted, we will put you behind bars, there will be no negotiating, and we will lock you up for as long as humanly possible. We will not negotiate with those who are killing our family members, including brothers, sisters, daughters, sons, parents, friends. Everyone in this room, I guarantee you, knows someone who has been afflicted with drug addiction, and many who have known someone who has lost a loved one because of this trash on our streets. The precursors are made in China. It was sent to Mexico and came right in our country. And again, 6 of these individuals were here illegally. That won't shock you. And we're running a massive, massive drug operation. This kind of success doesn't happen without extraordinary leadership. And I want to personally thank my friend, DEA Principal Deputy Administrator Rob Murphy, DEA El Paso Division Chief Agent in Charge Omar Arirello. I'm killing your name, Omar. Omar, okay. And U.S. Attorney, where's Ryan? Ryan Ellison. I also want to thank again the brave men and women of law enforcement. Last week I joined them at a DEA laboratory, and we went there, and it was truly remarkable what we saw, how quickly these cartels can manufacture and make fentanyl powder and put it into these pills. But people need to know, parents need to know, kids need to know, this fentanyl, this bus, these 3 million pills were oxycodone. They put this in Xanax, they put this in Adderall, they put this in Molly, the date drug or the party drug, something called Molly. They put it in cocaine, and they put it in marijuana. And it is to get you so highly addicted that you can't get off it. 75,000 Americans are dying each year because of fentanyl. 75,000. And that's why this is so important today. You've got to spread the word. If you know anyone who is taking any recreational drugs, they need to be extremely careful, because there is a very high likelihood it could be laced with fentanyl. And that's one of the reasons 75,000 Americans are losing their lives each day. It is the #1 cause of death for individuals between 18 and 34 in our country. More seizures are coming, more arrests are coming. I guarantee you that. And these dealers, these sellers, these street-level sellers better look out, because we will not be negotiating with you. We will bring you to justice, and we will not stop until this poison is off of our streets in our country. It is my honor to introduce my friend with DEA, Rob Murphy. I just want to add one thing. I was briefed before this by all of the agencies together, and the coordination with the AUSAs and DEA and the law enforcement agencies is truly remarkable. Thank you all. And again, be safe out there every day. They're out there risking their lives every day to save us and keep us safe. So thank you all. I think we're going to take a couple questions, but we are going to remain on topic today, because we are here for something so serious. And I had wanted to walk out first and let you all hold this. This is how much fentanyl it takes to kill you. So if you want to come up and look at this after in this vial, you're welcome to. It looks like just a few grains of salt, and this is what it takes to kill you. Okay.
Just a reminder, we're staying on topic today.
Madam Attorney General, I was wondering if you're seeking to deport the 6 illegal aliens who are here, or to charge them first and then seek to deport them. I know there's been a number of high-profile arrests you guys have made where you've made the decision to just go after deportation versus criminal trial.
Yeah, this guy is the leader. He's the #1 guy. And I want them to stay in our prisons as long as possible. I've no desire to send them back to Mexico, because they were coming across our border illegally. No longer will they be able to do that. But the amount of drugs, the amount of money, the amount of weapons, most of these individuals, if convicted, will remain in American prisons. Perhaps Alcatraz.
Mary Margaret, Daily Wire.
Thank you, Attorney General Bondi. Can you give us more information on some of these individuals up there, and can you also share whether you've had any success in getting the Mexican government to help you extradite any of these cartel members?
We will be hopefully working with them on one soon. But yes, Mexico has been cooperating in the past. I think we extradited 29 here to our country to face charges. Some of the top cartel members in our nation's history, some of the worst of the worst. And we brought them here. One, in fact, is at the Kiki Camarena, right? The one, I can't think of his name. He killed Rafael, yeah. He killed Kiki Camarena, a DEA agent in the 80s. And Kiki Camareno's widow and son family had been trying to get this guy back since the 80s and could not do it. And President Trump, working hand in hand with Mexico, was able to get him back to this country. And we spoke to Kiki Camareno's widow and son, and they were both in tears. His son is now a judge. and his son had his father's handcuffs and had them engraved. And I think at some point that monster who tortured and murdered his father will be wearing those handcuffs. But he's now in American custody, along with, I think, 28 others that we were able to extradite with President Trump working with Mexico to stop this really reign of terror and this poison coming into our country.
I think we have time for one more. Jake?
You said that these individuals will not be deported. Can you tell us any specifics on charges and any specifics on the investigation on how this actually went down, how they were captured?
So the investigation is ongoing. I can tell you it was a lot of work, a lot of great police work is all I'll say now. But I don't want to really reveal their sources and methods of how they captured and caught these guys. But what I will tell you, the top guy who I keep pointing to, he insulated himself. He was in Oregon. He had no drugs on him, but he was the leader. He had millions of dollars. He had a Mercedes. He had a truck. He had other things, but he did not have any drugs on him because he was the leader. And that's what these cartels do, whether it's Sinaloa, whether it's MS-13, whether it's TDA. The highest leaders insulate themselves. Just like the TDA guy, you may have been with us in Virginia. When we arrested him, not even half an hour away from here, he didn't have any drugs on him either. That's what they do. They live among us. They live in neighborhoods because they are the top level.
So what will the charges be?
Oh, I'm sorry. Multiple, what are the charges, guys? The multiple drug trafficking, conspiracy to traffic, multiple drug charges. But depending on the time, they need to serve their time in an American prison to keep them off the streets. And who knows where they would go next. They're part of one of the largest drug trafficking organizations and one of the most frightening cartels.
Alana, last one.
How are you making the decision about whether to put on trial in the U.S. defendants who are living in the U.S. illegally? You said you want this man to stand trial in the U.S., but in another case, and someone who was alleged to be a top MS-13 member, the department moved to dismiss that case and is going to deport that person. How are you making that decision about whether to
Sure. Based on the time that they can receive in prison. If these people are all facing substantial charges, maybe that might change down the road, and they all are innocent until proven guilty. If convicted, though, they're facing a substantial amount of time in prison, and there's a very big risk. We all know releasing someone, especially to Mexico, sending them back to Mexico. Who knows? They could attempt to get through our borders, not under Donald Trump, I doubt. But they're also part of a major drug trafficking ring in Mexico. So sending them back to Mexico to continue on with their drug business isn't going to happen under this administration.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you all. And if you want to see this, Alana, you may have seen this before, but if you all want to see this, it really puts it in perspective how deadly this stuff is. And that's what I wanted you all to see. Thank you all.